Good afternoon, Alan. This is Bob from Hong Kong. I'm speaking to Alan Glenn, who is Vice President Cargo Development at Menzies PLC in Edinburgh. Again, one of these amazing pieces of technology that we can talk over all this distance. I've actually known Alan since his time here in Hong Kong as in cargo services, so we go back a long way and have had many very useful chats about ULD operations. So, first of all, I'd like to say that Menzies has a special place in the ULD care community, as earlier this year Menzies signed up to the ULD Code of Conduct. And I think this is a huge endorsement for the ULD efforts, ULD care efforts in this direction. And I must say we're very happy to see this happen. So, Alan, can I ask you to perhaps provide our audience with an overview of how Menzies approaches ULDs from your cargo operations, what you've put in place so far, and what you're hoping to put in place in the immediate future?
Well, I'd have to be honest with you, and since moving from the airline side into the ground handling side, I see the challenges in handling ULDs as a ground handler, and we are no more advanced than most other people, but we see the need to improve how we handle our ULDs at this time. And I remember sitting down with you several years ago and hatching this idea of a code of conduct. So now it would seem misplaced if it didn't follow it through and sign it when we came to the other side. So more than happy to have signed up to the Code of Conduct. It's a really good initiative. And I think it's really all about drawing attention to the importance of ULDs. We handle them every day. We handle them in the ground handling side. We handle them in the cargo side. They're a part of our business. We need to put a little bit more focus into that, and I've been involved very much since I've come into Menzies and looking at the training that we do. And we're working very closely with Bob on new ULD handling training. We've got some new ULD documentation. The training is going to come out this month. We'll have our first modules coming out as well, and we're really building those for the same standard of training across our ground handling, our baggage, and our cargo, obviously with different depths in different areas, but bringing a lot more attention to it. We weren't very standardized in what we did, and we didn't really push the importance of the ULD and the fact that it's actually part of the aircraft and it needs to be handled as such. And I'm sure if you go into a Menzies warehouse somewhere in the world today, we will be mistreating an ULD, but that's something we want to get rid of over a period of time. And the training is the first place for us, and I think we've got more that we can do to follow that up.
Fantastic. It's really gratifying to hear your enthusiasm for the Code of Conduct, and also to hear how much focus you're putting on ULD. So, what do you perceive as a ground handler? What do you perceive to be the biggest challenges you face today? Would it be around staff and staff turnover? Would it be facilities? Would it be airports? Would it be all of the above? Where do you see the biggest headaches?
I think in line with most people in the business, we're seeing the challenges of full employment in many of our markets. So staff turnover is a huge part of what we see. So I think we need to really concentrate more on the training when we bring staff in, and make them more engaged, make them understand. Having a big training background myself, I'm a big believer in the why. I think if people understand why they're doing something, they're more likely to stick with it rather than just telling them to do it. So we're focusing on that. We're focusing on really doing a lot of the training, not only in the classroom, but actually in the field, in the warehouse, and walking around and talking about what we're actually handling, what's correct, how to go about doing it, and then assessing competency in the workplace as well. So I think a lot of focus is going to be on the people. I think, like everybody, this is a people business, and we really rely on them. So that's the first place to start. I think there are challenges in logistics. In a lot of our airports, there are challenges with storage for ULD anyway. So it's quite difficult. We have limited sizes in warehouses. We want to maximize the amount of warehouse that we use for serving customers. So storing ULDs is sometimes a secondary part of that. So we need to pay a bit more attention on making sure we're storing them correctly. But then we also need to work with the airports. The airports also need to support us in giving us storage outside of the warehouses and in the ramp area on the ramp that's appropriate. It's accessible, it's correct, and it protects the ULDs and makes sure that they're going to be looked after. And this can happen anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter which countries. I've seen airports that have got fantastic facilities in developing countries, and I've seen first world countries that have got terrible facilities. So, you know, the airports have got a lot that they can actually do to help us as well. So those are the two big ones that we've actually got. We've got some on our side that we need to invest a little bit more in our equipment. I think we can never have enough slave dollies, etc., to try and prevent having that ULD on the floor. But that's something that we're working on as we go forward.
Oh, well, you've just used one of my favourite terms, Alan, slave dollies. So anybody who talks about getting more of them will always win my support, because it's a game changer as far as ULD handling is concerned. So would you like to add anything more, or if not, we could wrap this up? What do you think?
Well, I think it's just really, it's a great opportunity, and thanks for the opportunity to speak to the audience today. I would have liked to have been there. It's a little bit far to travel, and we're somewhat busy. But I think this is a great conference. I think the work that's done by ULD Care is fantastic. We've been working very closely with them. We get fantastic support. Our training that we're developing, Bob has been helping with us a lot. He's been giving us a lot of really good feedback, a lot of ideas which we push forward. And I think this group is a great place to share that best practice. And I think, you know, sharing best practice and moving forward, we all need to play our part in looking after our ULDs, and that's going to help the safety, and it's going to help the efficiency of aircraft operations.
Great. Alan, thank you very, very, very much for joining in this conversation.
You're welcome, Bob.